Hello and welcome to Parkwood Off-Road Centre at Tong Bradford for the ColinAppleyard Husqvarna Off-Road Test Day. Let's see what's coming up. Yeah, we're just with Amir Maramo,
yep, that's the one.
The off-road specialist for ColinAppleyard, is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, just moved up from the workshop a few months ago. Worked with the race team, ride off-road and enduro, so it was a natural sort of progression, I suppose.
And you're the one who sort of organised this test day today?
Yeah. So it's my fault if it all goes wrong.
So, you know, how long have ColinAppleyard been sort of supplying the Husqvarna bikes?
Around about, it's probably about 8 months now. Maybe not quite as long as that, but we're fairly new to it all. We took them on just towards the end of the 2014 range. Got the last few sort of bikes that they had in stock there and pushed it from there, really. Obviously now the 15s are out and hopefully things are moving the way they should do. So
how are sales going
really
so far?
Good at the moment, really good, yeah. It's everyone's not quite come to the end of their seasons yet, motocross or enduro, but we've already done quite a lot on the enduro side of things, and there's a lot of interest in the motocross, obviously with a lot of their new signings as well. So I think the motocross will kick off. I don't know if people are maybe going to wait till do the winter series on their current bikes and then buy new ones for the summer, or whether they're just going to go all out and just get ready testing over winter to go and sort of do well in the summer, really.
Yeah. So, you know, price-wise, what sort, you know, for example, a 125 TC enduro bike, what sort of money is that going for at the moment?
The 125s are $62.49. So they're quite expensive when you look at like a 125, but the spec on them probably better than anything else out there at the moment. More equivalent to things like your 6 days orange ones, should I say? Yeah. They're not a standard bike by any means. So
you know, as a salesman, or what if somebody was coming to you to buy a bike, an off-road bike, an enduro bike particularly? Yeah. What would you say to them? You know, what would say to convince them to buy a Husqvarna as opposed to any other brand? I
think, to be honest with you, the reputation's selling itself. People come in specifically for the Huskies. Doesn't take a lot of convincing. Being in Yorkshire, we have to battle with a price every now and again, but no, they're a great bit of kit. You know, I ride them as well, so I'm genuinely, you know, talk from experience, I think. So.
Right, well, it's nice talking to you, and we hope the day goes well.
Yeah, me too.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, we're just with Dave Edwards from Husqvarna UK. You're the guy who's responsible for bringing the bikes today. How's it going?
Yeah, very good, very good. We're here to support ColinAppleyard. Myself and my colleague have brought 6 bikes up, and hopefully we'll have a good day. Weather's all right so far, so yeah, hopefully we'll have a good day.
The bikes you brought today are mainly the enduro bikes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got 5 enduro and 1 motocross 125. Yeah.
Okay. Compared to last year's models, the Husqvarna brand, what's the difference with the 2015 compared to the 2014?
On the enduro bikes, there's a few key differences. Not many, but a few key ones. If we start at the front of the bike, and I'll just kind of walk you around. So the first differences from last year really is the front fender and the front light. There's less brackets. It mounts straight to the triple clamps. Okay. So it's a similar front fender to the motocross fender that we had for last year and carried on for this year. Handguards have stayed the same, and everything, the forks and everything has stayed the same for 2014. As we go through the bike, the seat is probably the most visible change. It's a different material, so it's more durable, it's grippier, and it's very much, if you put a 14 seat next to the 15, you can really feel the difference, as well as looking at it. Obviously it's carries on the look of the bike with the nice flow in the blue and the whites and the yellow through the bike. And there's a difference between the motocross and enduro bike this year in that the motocross bike's got much more yellow on it, so you can distinguish between the two bikes easier. On the two-stroke, some key changes are the jetting and the setting up of it. Yep. So it's supposed to run better this year than it did previously, and also the starting. We've put a smaller battery on it, but also the gearing on the starter motor's changed to give better starting on the two-strokes. So yeah, some small changes, but hopefully noticeable.
Comparing this bike to a KTM or a Husqvarna, as it was branded before, what's the key differences?
They're similar. I mean, everybody knows they're similar. The engines, the chassis, etc., they're pretty much the same as a Husqvarna or a KTM. The key difference is really between the Husqvarna and what was the Husqvarna and KTM is really we've got some components that you find on a 6-day KTM, such as the 4CS fork, but we've got the back end that was on the Husqvarna. So the rear polyamide plastic back end, which you don't get on a KTM. Obviously we've got linkage on ours, whereas KTM you get PDS, so there's some key changes. And also on the 4-stroke enduro bikes for Husqvarna, you get a cooling fan as standard, which again you don't find on a standard EXC. So there are some key differences between us and KTM and what was Husqvarna as well. So
in terms of the test days which we've got running today at Tonga Bradford, what other venues are going to be having this year or sort of next year? Have you got anything planned?
Yeah, loads actually. We're kind of halfway through our plans for this year, so we've already been to Fat Cats doing a motocross test day, and we've been down at Cheddar doing a motocross test day. We're currently going to Ireland in a couple of weeks' time to do 2 days over there, and then we've got one down in Essex, following that one in Somerset. So I think we had about 9 or 10 different test days all throughout the UK, really just supporting our dealers. So the dealers are putting the event on, inviting their customers to come along, and we'll just turn up and support really with the bikes and banners, as I call it.
So for those who are watching, then just basically if they want to test one of these bikes, get in touch with the dealer and find out when the next available test day is.
Absolutely, yeah. We've put the details online of where we're planning to go. We'll just get in touch with the dealer and find out where the next one is.
Super, that's great. Thanks very much. Thanks for talking to us.
Cheers, Robert.
Cheers. What appeals to you about the Husqvarna models compared with other bikes? What what is it the sort of look of them? The design of the plastics of the door. Is it just the overall sort of package?
Well, I think the package looks really good, doesn't it? The colours are good, and on top of that, they just are they're spec'd up model, aren't they? They're sort of they're the blingy model. I haven't just worked out and got pen to paper and seen just how much the premium you pay, but I believe they've got the uprated shocks, probably over the equivalent KTM model. But it was very nice. It's my first try on since I feel like I can ride to a certain degree. It's the first time I've been on an enduro bike. That's why I really wanted to come today, and I think I could sort of make the move back across. Yeah.
So what's made you come to Tong today and test these?
A friend of mine saw it on Facebook, phoned up, and we thought, great, have a chance to ride the new bikes, because you never get a chance to ride all this amount of bikes and compare them like for like until you come to a day like this.
I know you've been out on quite a selection, haven't you? You've been on the 125 two-stroke, the 250, the 254 stroke and two-stroke,
yep.
And also a 300 two-stroke.
300 two-stroke, yep.
And what's your general thoughts at the moment then about the bikes? What you've tried?
They're fantastic machines. Plush suspension, great brakes. Yeah, really nice to ride, nice and light. If I was putting my money on one, I think it'd be the 250 two-stroke. If I had to choose for these conditions, for wet, muddy, tricky, hard conditions, I think it would be 250 two-stroke, because it's so light. You can turn it in the trees really easily. Yeah, great bike, awesome bike.
Have you looked at any other manufacturers for riding?
I've had a Gas 300. Didn't compete on, but just played. That was a good bike. But these do seem to have the edge on the new bikes. Yeah.
What's the appeal to the Husqvarna then? What for you? What makes it stand out from the rest of other brands?
Well, because they're under the KTM banner, you get great build quality. You've got good dealer backup, so your money's safe. If you're spending £6,000-7,000, a lot of money on a bike, you know that your money's safe because they're well built. Parts are pretty cheap. You can get parts from anywhere. It's a fairly safe bet, and it's going to be a good bike that's going to ride well and start every time you press the button on the starter as well, which is pretty important when you're out there.
Well, it's nice talking to you, and I'm glad you've travelled up and you've enjoyed yourself today, and best luck in future.
Brilliant day. Thanks very much.